Welcome back to the Plays with Cars YouTube channel. I'm Michael, and in this episode of Miniatures Mondays, I am super excited to share with you the results of all the work I did here in the garage to display my diecast collection. All right, before we get to the big reveal, which is behind the camera at the moment, where I get to see it and you don't, a little bit of backstory. On last week's episode, I showed you kind of what was going on with my diecast collection and talked a little bit about learning how to let go and like which ones I'm going to keep, which ones I'm going to get rid of, and things specific to me, but resonated with a lot of you. Actually, had quite a few comments on this. You collect some diecast cars and they're really cool when you buy them, and then you stick them in a bin in your garage or your shed or your attic for years or even decades. Did you really enjoy them, or do you want them out on display? Whether it's in the package, out of package, doesn't matter, but like the whole point is that they bring you joy and you want to see them and interact with them and have them as part of your ambiance versus shoved in a box in the corner. And so that's what I've been doing, is going through my stuff shoved in boxes and corners and kind of getting rid of some things, but also reimagining the stuff that I am keeping and how that looks. And yeah, let's just cut to the chase. Let's show you. All right, 3, 2, 1. Kapow! Look at that. So that is the workbench area all done up. You can see we've got our 1/64 diecast case up there. We've got some artwork on the walls. We will do a close inspection of all of those. Obviously, there's stuff already on the workbench, but getting things up off that horizontal surface is definitely a part of the full-size things that we are doing around here. But as far as the diecast go, this is the plexiglass display case that I've had for years now. Used to live in my office. When I moved, that wasn't possible anymore, and I put it out here on the garage, and it was just sitting on the workbench for the longest time, and finally got it up on the wall and displayed and have these are the current diecast cars that are in it, and they will be changing, so we'll go over them here a little bit. You can see here, we talked about this on the top row, are replicas of real cars that I've owned and have been on the channel, including Project Bronco. And so I don't know what I'll be doing with those or changing them out. There's definitely some cars we need to add. And then we've got a couple of rows of AMCs, some American Motors products, a couple of rows of Porsches, and then we get into the race cars, and that's what it's really all about. So we've got some Alfa Romeos, got some Can-Am cars and British touring cars, and then we get into the crux of the collection, which is your Le Mans racers. Anything that raced 24 hours, GT racing, that kind of thing, IMSA, are up here. And so, you start off with your Cobra Daytonas and your Ferraris and GT40s, Porsche 917s, your BMWs, the Corvettes, Greenwoods, and then you get into your crazy, your 934, 935, some Mazda rotary stuff with the RX3s and RX7s. Silhouette racers, and then you get into the prototypes. And here we have your Porsche 962s, of course, the all-conquering Mazda 787B, the McLaren F1, and then your most modern cars here on the bottom. They're kind of roughly in an era order, which is pretty cool. And you can see there are some, dollar version Hot Wheels in here, like the Caddy. I believe that one is an ATSV, but it might be a CTSV. I'm not sure. But that's a dollar Hot Wheel. The AMG here is actually, I think, a dollar Hot Wheel. And then there's the more premium ones scattered in there, and the car cultures. And then I have things like this Sparky here. But generally what I want to do is everything in this case that is not a real paint job on the real race car is going to be coming out. I want this to be entirely race cars only in their correct paint scheme. So, like obviously up here, these 962s, they're in the correct paint scheme. I'm going to leave those in the box because that one's neat. But I do have one here. It is also in the correct one. That one will stay. But like the Ford GT here in this, admittedly cool livery, but that is not, a real livery that was raced. So yeah, that's definitely what I'm going to be doing, is going through these, taking out all the cars that weren't real race cars, putting in all real race car onlys. What I want to do is I have a whole bunch of SCCA Trans Am racers, both the under 2.5 liter and over 2.5 liter ones. And I think I want to add all of those to this and go from there. So yeah, as far as background goes, now we've got diecast cars that we can look at in the background when we're doing the intros and things like that for these videos. And then I've got a workbench I can set stuff up on to show the close-up shots, put the car on the rotisserie, that kind of thing. So I'm definitely excited for that, YouTube-wise as well. Other art on the walls includes a blip shift print of some AMC stuff, some signed things from my grandfather, as well as Ken Block. I did a whole video on that earlier this year. And this really cool poster from the PCA Works reunion in Monterey. It is a 924 GT, but still it's a very red poster of a transaxle Porsche right in front of our red transaxle Porsche. So I really like that. The next step in display is I also have quite a few of these that we've talked about as well. The haulers, a lot of Trans Am team ones like this. The packaging, especially like on this one, isn't necessarily great, and I could take it out, but that trailer is not going to fit in any of those spaces, nor is the ramp truck. So I'm trying to figure out exactly how to display these. Being that these are all still in the package, I may leave them in it and stack them up the wall or in between the gaps, or I don't know. If you have any ideas, throw them down in the comments below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on where and how I can display the haulers that go with the race cars that we're putting in the case. For now, we just have the line of them there on the top of the case, and yeah, we'll go with that. Now, obviously, when I do these shots, I still have a whole wall here that doesn't have anything on it that is often in the shots, especially because we like having the car in the background of the videos as well. However, most of that is going to actually be turned into shelving and stuff. That's where our detail station is going, because that's where the hose is and all that kind of thing. So I'm not real sure if anything is going to end up there. One idea that we do have is I have a bunch of vintage license plates is lining the top of the garage wall. Kind of like having a crown molding, but doing it in license plates would be kind of a neat thing, because we can kind of go at least 3 sides of the garage. Would be a lot of fun. But the other big die casting I have is I have quite a bit of 1/18 scale cars, and I don't really know where or how to display those either. And so if there is a way to kind of get maybe up on the top shelf up here so that they're in the background or something like that, I don't know. But again, if you have any ideas, definitely let me know in the comments below. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Miniatures Mondays. I hope you really enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed finally getting all my stuff up on the wall. And now that we have a background, that should hopefully be really cool and help with the videos and stuff. And yeah, maybe in a future episode, we'll go through actually pulling everything out of this case. I'll throw everything out on a table. We'll look at all the cars, and then we'll put in all the race cars and talk about those. That could be a whole lot of fun. So if you're interested in seeing that, definitely click the subscribe button so that you don't miss any episodes or future episodes of Miniatures Mondays. Thank you all so much for joining me this week, and I will see you in next week's video.